Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. The video on daily news and editorial analysis shall be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express the important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today's 22nd of June, the first important news, that is the gender gap report, which is released by the World Economic Forum. Second, that is India-United States jet engine deal. The Prime Minister of India is on a visit to United States and both countries are looking forward for the trade agreement specifically concerning the national security. Third, that is the changes in MBBS curriculum. Fourth, that is industries eyes access to Gati Shakti portal. And the last is an editorial whose pays up for the cleanup, right? So this is with regards to the carbon border management and the part of that is a proposal coming from the European Union. We'll see how the sustainability and climate finance has become an important component. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the prelims and many other government examination that you will be appearing for. So without any further ado, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press the like button. And if you're looking forward for mains test series, we have a program, test series guidance program known as Abhyuday. In this program, we'll be providing the subject coverage with every subject will be covered as per the syllabus of the UPSC mastering the part. And this is available both online and offline. So you can avail both of them. There's no boundary line that you have to only reach out to the center. So you can comprehensively go by hybrid mode. And for more details, you can refer to the contact number which is there. This particular program will include 4 general studies full length paper followed by general study, the part of the AC paper which is there, and then the ethics paper. So this is a comprehensive program which will ensure that you are at the right position at the right time, securing good marks at the mains. Now, moving on to the first news of the day, that is the Gender Gap Report 2023, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the important international institution, agencies and their mandate. So according to the World Economic Forum Annual Gender Gap Report, it found that India has ranked 127 out of 146 country in the gender parity, and this has been improved by 8 places compared to last year. So this is an improvement which India is facing. A lot of international indexes and reports are there. For some, India is performing well. And the World Economic Forum has ranked India 135 out of 146 countries in its 2022 edition. And currently, India has been ranked at 127. So this ranking is important. You must know what is the ranking of India. Now, what was India's performance? That if you see holistically or dekhe kahan India ne perform achhi ki hai. So India has improved 1.4% and the 8 positions from the last year edition. This I've told you at the beginning. And the country has attained parity for the enrollment for the overall education. See, we have right to education in the country, right? And the implementation is again at the fullest, and to substantiate the part of the progress that is made is at the paceable. Now India has closed 64.3% of the population with the overall gender gap. This is again a factual information that you can take a note of. However, it has underlined that India has reached only 36.7% parity in the economic parity and opportunity, right? While there has been an upstick in the part of wages and income, which is there. No, see, the part of the gig economy, the sectors are booming. Post COVID recovery, we have seen that things are working on a pace. So the share of women and senior positions in the technical role has dropped slightly since the last edition. This is again the negative part which is there in the report. Now, on political empowerment, India has registered 25.3% on the parity and women representing 15.1% of the parliamentarian, the highest of the country since the report when the report started from 2006 onwards. नाउ द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ सम अदर कंट्रीज, अगर दूसरे कंट्रीज की बात करें क्या परफॉर्मेंस रही है, अगर इसमें रैंकिंग देखें नेबरिंग कंट्रीज की, तो पाकिस्तान की रैंक है 142, देन बांग्लादेश इज एट 59, देन चाइना एट 107, नेपाल 116, और श्रीलंका की बात करें 115, भूटान 103. Now, Iceland has topped the gender equality index, and even the ranking is at first. This has 14th consecutive time that Iceland has closed this ranking, and 90% of the gender gap which is there has been trimmed. Now, only 117 countries are available since 2017. 18 countries involved. Bolivia, India, France have achieved women representations over 40% in the local governance. Now, what is the status of gender parity and sex ratio? So, gender parity की अगर बात करें, India earlier this year has said that the World Economic Forum में जो recognitions की जाती है that need to be enumerative with regards to women participations in local government bodies in its gender gap report. This is what the minister actually said, the Minister for Women and Empowerment, Smriti Irani, has actually quoted this. Now, in this regard, there was an overall calculation that was changed, and it found that the South Asian region has achieved 63.4% of the gender parity, and the second lowest of the 8 regions. In terms of women and in the ministerial position, 75 countries and 20% less than the female ministers are there. Now, populous countries such as Iran, Turkey, China have less than 7% of their women as minister, while other countries like Azerbaijan, Saudi Arabia, and Lebanon has done. For India, 1.9% point improvement is there in the sex ratio at birth, driven by parity after more than a decade of slow progress. Definitely, we need to put more impetus here so that this number or the percentage get increased. Now, this is again the ranking. If you want to revise, this is the ranking. Rank 1 goes to Iceland, second Norway, Bangladesh, the immediate neighbor has ranked, they have commendably performed well, 59, and India is at 127, right? So this is again important. You can either take screenshot of this. Now, moving to the other news, that is India-United States jet engine deal, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology, and development of new technology. So, a landmark agreement to facilitate the transfer of at least 11 critical engine technology is likely to be announced during the Prime Minister's ongoing visit. Prime Minister is an official visit to United States. The invitation was there by the President of the United States. So it is anticipated कि ये जो मीटिंग है उस मीटिंग में बेसिकली अमेरिका की जो मल्टी कंपनी है जनरल इंजीनियरिंग एंड इंडियाज हिंदुस्तान एरोनॉटिकल लिमिटेड विल call for manufacturing the license for GEF 414 engine, this service which will help for the indigenous light compact aircraft Tejas Mk2, the refueling, the recharging, everything will be done. I'll show you the image, how does the GEF 414 look like. Before that, let's just understand the basic. Now, the likely agreement is that the transfer of the technology was discussed recently between the defense minister and US Secretary of Defense. Recently we have also made a discussion जहाँ पे US के Secretary of State ने India visit किया था, and there were already a preparatory phase that was ongoing. So basically there's a new initiative that is signed between India and United States, that is Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology, जो दोनों countries ने sign की है, and this is going to be very important for both countries. Now, about GE414 engine, before I proceed with the description part, just to show you the image. So this is how it actually looks like, right? So this is the engine. Now, the turbine engine is a part of G-Shoot for the military aircraft engine. It has been used for US Navy for more than 30 years. Now, more than 1600 414 engine has been delivered, adding up to 5 million engine flight per hour with a mission. The engine are trusted with 22,000 lb and or 90 kk, which is advanced technology, fully automated digital electronic control है इसमें, and even it call for aircraft ignitions, engine control system, and control engine performance digitally. The use of advanced material and cooling techniques improve performances, and extend the component life and the manufacturing website. This is what the website for the general engineering or GE has actually portrayed. So I've even shown you this image. This is how it actually looked like. Now for Indian aircraft, how this is going to help and what are the benefits that Indian will be having. So the Indian specific version of engine, that is F414ING-SG, was selected for the Aeronautical Development Agencies for the Defense Research and Development Organization, specifically for the LCA Tejas MK2. और इसके अलावा ये पावर्ड करेगी सिंगल इंजन के थ्रू इसे पावर्ड की जाएगी. दिस इंजन हैव आल्सो पावर एंड अ प्रोटोटाइप दैट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एडवांस्ड मीडियम compact aircraft, India's futuristic fifth generation fighter jet for the Air Force. See, India is maintaining the part of advancement in terms of Navy, in terms of Air Force. So for Air Force specifically, this engine and the deal between India and United States is very, very important. Those of you are having PSIR as an optional, आपके लिए एक स्पेशल नोट्स बनाने की जरूरत है. आप इंडिया यूएस के इस बार की जो विजिट है प्राइम मिनिस्टर की, उसके जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स हैं उस पे यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट अ लॉन्ग लेंथ क्वेश्चन इन द ऑप्शनल ऑल्सो. Now, significance of the deal and overall countries such as United States, Russia, UK, and France have mastered this technology, and India is not on the list that is pushed for the self-reliance in manufacturing for the critical technology, including the cryogenic rocket engines, which is notwithstanding. Now, the DRDO gas turbine establishment, which is also known as GTRE, is like first work towards developing this engine for the light compact aircraft. And 9 full prototype engine and 4 core engine has been developed. And even further, the part of the altitude test, flying test bed have been completed as a trial basis by the DRDO and other important agencies operating for the national security. Now, moving to the other news, industries eyes access to Gati Shakti portal, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. So Indian industry and the stakeholders of the industries are hoping that the government may soon open and agree to open up the part of the Gati Shakti portal. So they are actually planning for the multimodal infrastructure project, which is the envision for the PM Gati Shakti portal. And once it is open, this will help to facilitate the greater public-private investment, right, which call for connectivity and seen critical to the sustainability of economic momentum. Now, what is PM Gati Shakti DAI platform? If you look at the aspect, this is something that was unveiled in October 2021, that is 2021 में unveiled की गई है. It's bring together 16 ministries including the railway, roadways, and it calls for integrated and coordinated approach in planning and implementing the infrastructure and connectivity project. This is very important. When you see India's infrastructure development, अगर इंडिया में infrastructure की बात करें, so this is going to be very significant. So far, the portal data is restricted to the state government and central government. So the access has only been given to the ministries and the state government. And the portal includes the detailed map of the existing economic, social infrastructure as well as for the upcoming projects. Now, why industries demand access? अगर उनको पता होगा कि गवर्नमेंट की क्या क्या प्रपोजल है, कौन सी प्रोजेक्ट किस एरियाज पे आने वाली है, so they can make a preparation to that, right? So according to the industry expert, the portal information throughout would help to just have a not only for the logistic but also for operations and enable fresh capital spending in the elite sectors. Also, the Gati Shakti portal can be beneficial for planning for the private sector, and it will accurately help them to have more capex and outstanding funding. Now, the changes in the MBBS curriculum, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is issues related to development and management of education and human resources. So recently, the National Medical Commission, which is NMC, the apex body when it comes to the regulation of the medical studies in the country, the overall curriculum, they have brought up some changes in the undergraduate medical curriculum, with the latest overhaul bringing in the limit of completing the MBBS course, like they have been limited to 9 years, right? There are a lot many people who have been competing to complete the entire course since 2009. So now you will be only provided 9 years to complete the part of the MBBS, which is a 5-year degree program. Additionally, you'll be getting 4 years. So the common fixed number has been attempted if paper failed, and the theory paper for other basically program will also be reduced. I'll tell you which are the papers that has been reduced. So the proposed changes call for where the curriculum include like biochemistry, microbiology. This paper has been reduced in the number which were taken by the MBBS student. Now, as per the latest format, 4.5 years of the MBBS course will be divided into 3 phases. The first phase and the second phase for 12 months each, and third for the 30 months. Now, each academic year will have 39 teaching with a minimum of 8 hours of study on each day. Now, clinical postings की अगर बात करें, it is necessary for 15 hours for a week for a second year, and a minimum of 75% attendance is a mandate in theory and 80% for practical or clinical. That is a must to appear for the examination. So these are the curriculum changes proposed by NMC. Now, students failing to have university examination at the end of the professional year will subject to have a supplementary examination, and the council has also specified time that can be taken to clear the supplementary paper at various stages. But in totality, there will be no more years. The final years will be 9 years, right? Now, moving to the editorial of the day, whose pays up for the cleanup? Something important for general studies, paper 3, that is the conservation, environmental pollutions, degradation, and EIA. So what I'll be discussing under this editorial focuses on the theme, that is the carbon border adjustment mechanism. We'll see what is the new global finance pact is, how does the CBAM actually work, what is the objective and the way forward. So just to give you the background, अगर आप देखें historically, जो primary responsibility है climate change की, that is definitely with the advanced economy, because these were the country during the part of the industrialization, they have actually polluted the entire globe a lot. So the primary responsibility come up with the advanced economy, and the process of industrialization was already started way back. Now, there's a specific protocol, that's called Kyoto Protocol, that recognizes common but differentiated responsibility in fight against the climate change. Now, the Paris Agreement have asked the countries to set voluntary emissions target, but required for a richer countries to make financial transfer of developing economies and later to cope up with the problems. Now, it set the floor for 100 billions per year for transfer of the part. And in this Paris climate change, the target that was set has actually not been met by many of the member countries. Now, new global finance pact की अगर बात करें, this is by France, important for your examination. So France is actually hosting the summit. This will be known as the new global finance pact. And the theme for the summit is building a new consensus for more inclusive and international financial system. Now, the aim of the summit is to concurrently tackle the part of climate change, biodiversity, fight against the part of the global order, and even the sustainable development goal. So the part of the global south, global order, everything has to be taken into consideration when it comes to the part of the sustainability and clean energy. The summit was co-organized by France and India, with later holding presidency during the G20. Now, what is carbon border adjustment mechanism? This is a proposal by European Union, very important. You must know the organization. So EU is involved in the part of the carbon border adjustment mechanism. It's a measure to prevent the carbon leakages and carbon intensive product. In the recent time, all important forum summits are aiming to reduce the part of carbon, either in the form of leakages or in the decremental part of the pollutions. It has been described that the landmark tool to put fair prices on the carbon amid the productions of the carbon intensive goods, and even to encourage the industrial productions in the non-EU countries. Now, this will bring the forefront to the linkages between the trade and the environment. Now, what is the objective of CBAM? अगर बात करें जो carbon border adjustment mechanism की, कुछ important चीजों पे ध्यान है. The priority is on the reducing of EU emissions. Second, the EU is not a competitive in the part of the intensive goods. And third, to make the targeted countries reduce the carbon intensity for its export. Now, this mechanism starting since 2026 will cover the product like cement, steel, aluminium, oil refinery, paper, gas, chemical, and electricity generation. Very, very important, specifically for the prelims examination, right? This will affect most countries, the country like Russia, यूक्रेन, टर्की, इंडिया एंड चाइना. तो इस एग्रीमेंट के बाद बहुत सारे कंट्रीज को ट्रेड करने में इम्पैक्ट होगी. एंड इवन only 3 of the 12 exporter or to the EU have the mechanism for the pricing carbon. Now, if you look at the part of the conclusion and way forward, the border adjustment mechanism is an important issue ongoing with the India-EU free trade agreement. अगर free trade agreement या FTA negotiations की बात करें तो ये important aspect है, because अगर FTA sign होती तो बहुत सारे clauses में इंडिया को compromise भी करनी पड़ सकती. India should work with the EU to secure the CBAM and to ensure smooth on-board part of the India's export to maximize the benefit for the bilateral deal, and possibility of the WTO challenges remain open to India. The proposal has been touted as a solutions to the climate and trade issues, and even gathering some difficulties such as problem of measurement. So we have to see not only India but many other countries like Russia, China, Japan will also have the issues, but India has to seek interest first and ensuring that the part of possibility and development in the country is taking place with any of the agreement that is there, right? So this is how you can conclude with the way forward. Moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is B. Today's MCQ for practice about the Ocean satellite. It's a observatory satellite launched and operated by the Indian Space Research Organization. And it's a satellite facilitating applications including the documenting chlorophyll concentration, phytoplankton, and bloom. Now the second question, with reference to ILO, consider the following statement. The individual agency is mandated for the part created by the Treaty of Versailles, release the social dialogue report. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, any queries about the courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching.